Hello my beauties, today I've come up with a very bright Desi colored clothes which you wear in your daily Desi functions, but you want to have a very beautiful chic makeup which like I have created right now. It's a very neutral makeup which you can wear with a bright color clothes and still gonna look bomb.com. So this is what I've come up with, and if this is your jam, please keep on watching the video. Just put my hair clipped because it is coming on my way. I have prepped my skin with Aveeno moisturizer and Nivea lip balm, and now we are ready to put on some makeup. Okay, since it's a neutral makeup, we are going to focus more on the face, like the base makeup, than the eye makeup, and that's why I'm going to use this Smashbox Becca Under Eye Corrector. I have already talked about this thing in my past videos. I'm just taking a tiny bit and I'm just placing it underneath my eyes. We are starting with this because by the time when we are applying the concealer, I mean the foundation and then the concealer, this product will be set on its own and we won't need to powder it. So whenever you're using a under eye corrector, you should use it first and then go with the foundation and then the concealer. So till that time your corrector is completely set. I'm just going to take my nose ring off because now it's the time for our foundation, and today I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Skin Foundation. This foundation is a very full coverage foundation, so if you want to apply it on your whole face, and if you have a potato face like me, you'll require just one pump, and if you have a smaller face than me, you'll require half a pump of this foundation. So keep that thing in mind. So I'm taking one pump and that's it. It is enough for us. And now we are directly going to apply it with the dotting method. And this foundation is a little warm, but in summers it suits me perfectly well. In winters it looks too dark on my skin, but we are in deep summer now, right? So I'm just placing it all over my face. Now I'm taking a buffing brush and we will require the mirror to blend it out. Let's start from this side. This foundation is a very full coverage foundation, but mind you, it is going to last throughout the day. I mean, it has a very lasting power. So sometimes it is used in bridal makeup because it covers everything in just a minute. Like, look at the skin. It is looking perfectly flawless, and I'm just tapping it over here because it is so hard to blend in the crevices. So I'm just tapping it and moving on to this side. So I forgot to mention over here that you can use a beauty blender for a full coverage foundation, which can make you look like a very natural finish after when it is blended. Or you can use a buffing brush, which I'm using to blend out everything and buff it out. And if you think that it is way too much for you, because these days no one wears full coverage foundations, so what you can do is apply the whole foundation with the brush and buff it out, and then you start using a beauty blender to soak out the excess, which I'm going to do next. But mind you, full coverage foundations takes a lot of time to blend out in the skin because it has got so much of pigment that you need to blend it out all over your face as well as onto your neck. I'm using the dry sponge to soak excess of the foundation because it is way too full coverage for me. It's been a long time that I have had a full coverage foundation on my face, but let's hope that our foundation base looks amazing at the end of the makeup. So this is the base we have got after corrector as well as the foundation. I'm going to use this Ultra HD NYX concealer, and we are going to place it just underneath our eyes, over here and here. Since it's a very full coverage foundation, we are not going to place it anywhere else, just over here. And I'm going to blend out with the fingers because we have applied the corrector underneath. So let's blend with the fingers first and be gentle while blending it out. Okay, on this side as well. I'm not using the brush because we have already applied the corrector over here, and I don't need to, you know, disrupt the under eyes. And whatever is there on my fingers, I'm going to apply it over here. I mean, not much, but this much is enough for our clean base for our eye makeup. Again, I'm taking the beauty blender and I'm going to press it in our eyes like this, and little bit underneath our eyes, right? Now I realize that we need to highlight the central part of our face because it is looking not too good. So I'm using the same concealer and I'm placing it over here and here, little bit up above the forehead, and this is enough. We are going to use this brush to blend the concealer out, and I'm just placing it and dabbing it on the center part of our nose. You know, if you don't want to contour your face, use a normal, you know, matching foundation and apply some concealer and you're good to go. You don't need to apply the contour. Moving on to the setting our face, I'm using Chanel setting powder in the shade 30. I'm taking a little bit in my brush. I'm going to put it on the lid like this, and we have got this much amount of powder to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all the fine lines that have been created by now underneath our eyes. There's not much of the fine lines, but very tiny bit, and start to apply the powder while looking up. If you're looking like this, you're not gonna get into the fine lines. So in order to set your fine lines, you have to look up and set it like this, not in this position, not in this position, but up. Remember that side as well. I'm just dabbing it a little bit, looking up, so that the powder gets into the fine lines and set it so you don't have the creases underneath your eyes, right? We have used a very less amount of concealer underneath our eyes, so I don't think that we are gonna have the creasing problem. I'm applying it in the central part of the forehead, on the nose, over here, and now everywhere, whatever is there on our brush, just set it. Moving on to the contour, today I'm going to use Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate palette, and I'm going to use the contour right now, and I'm just placing it with my fingers. This is in the intensity number 1, and it's a beautiful contour shade for my dusky skin tone. If you want a very bright contour, you can go for intensity 2, but I think this is enough for me because we are going to use the bronzer as well later on. Let's blend out the contour with the Real Techniques brush, and I'm just dabbing it because we have applied a full coverage foundation, so I'm not going to do that. That's my usual technique. Secretly, I don't tell people that I'm doing makeup in a very aggressive way, but today we have to be very gentle with our makeup. And look how beautifully this product blends out. Just hold your ears and create your jawline like this. Here you can buff out the way you want. You can be aggressive over here because we haven't applied much of the foundation or any other base underneath our jaws. So you just pull your ears like this and blend your contour on the side. Moving on to the forehead, I'm dabbing it while holding my hair like this, and you have to be sure that your contour is going upwards towards the hairline and not downwards, because that is where your camera is going to catch up if you have blended your makeup properly or not. I learned all of these tricks by myself after having disasters in cameras, in videos. So this is how I learned my makeup, with hell lot of mistakes. And that's why I started this channel, so that you don't do all those mistakes which I did. We totally forgot to contour our nose, so I'm going to use the same brush. I'm not using extra products, and just placing it starting from the bridge of the nose, like the end of your brows or the starting of your brows, and just placing it from there to the tip of the nose like this. Now look at the difference on this side and this side. Okay, so let's do it on this side as well. Sometimes I'm blocking the view of the camera while applying the makeup, and I realized that when I watched my video like 2-3 videos back, I did this mistake of blocking the view of the camera. So now I'm becoming a little cautious about it, not repeating the same mistake, the technical mistakes. So here it is, our contoured nose. We're going to move on to the eyes first, and I don't think that I have applied the setting powder onto my eyelids, so that's what we are going to do right now. Okay, and if there are any creases, we are going to blend that as well. But our eyes has to be a little dry in order to blend our eyeshadows. My brush is dirty, so I'm just cleaning it on my tissue paper like this, and taking the excess of the eyeshadow which I had applied earlier and just rubbing it off, so I can use the same brush without washing it twice or thrice. Not more than twice, I guess, because the shade becomes too empowering while applying. The shadow brush is clean so that I can load another shade. Like I'm going to use this shade, right? It's a beautiful copper shade, and I'm going to apply it on my crease area. And I think that this much amount of eyeshadow is enough. I don't need to dig it in or load another batch of eyeshadow. I mean, look at that. Instantly I'm getting a crease, and that too a beautiful shimmery shadow. I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to place it underneath my eyes. It's a really nice eyeshadow. There is hardly any fallout, and this is why I always love Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows. They are very ethereal and very chic, and they look beautiful on the eyes, in the camera, in person. They look amazing. I'm going to apply this shade directly onto the eyelids like this. I mean, look at that. Can you see the magic of Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows? They're beautiful. And look at that glow. I mean, the shimmers are amazing. I'm just placing it onto my lids everywhere and over here as well, and just putting it and dabbing it and gliding it onto my lid. And there's hardly any fallout, so you don't have to worry about anything else. Just apply your eyeshadows and forget about the fallout. Before we move on to our eyes further, I want my brows to be fixed. So I'm using Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. It's my favorite pomade, and I'm going to dip it in a little bit. And what I'm going to do is fast forward this segment as usual so that you can learn it but not waste enough time, since our eyebrows are very, individual, unique thing to do. I have finished my brows off camera and moving on to the eyes again. Now I'm using Mama Earth's kajal and I'm just going to tightline it, and I'm just placing it, running across the lashes so that we get the effect of fuller lashes onto the inner corners. Just apply it and run across the lashes like this. And don't worry if you create a mistake, we can rectify it. While tightlining our lashes, you can definitely get the kajal onto the lower lashes as well. If you don't like it, you can just wipe it off like this. And if you like it, you can keep it, and it's gonna be looking nice as well. In this look, I'm just taking it off just a little bit because I'm going to apply a nude liner underneath my lashes, and we are going to place it just onto the lower lashes on the outer sides as well as on the inner sides, and make sure that over here onto the inner corners you drag it. Look at the difference on this side and this side. Okay, so that's why I wiped off the kajal over there and placing it onto the just borders of the lower lashes and onto the inner corners. Make sure that you're not crying, otherwise everything is going to come off. Now I'm taking a very small smudging brush and I'm going to dip it into this shade, and we're going to apply it underneath our inner corners like this, because I want our inner corners to be popping for this look. And I'm going to drag it like this towards my lower lids over here as well, and little bit onto the side. Oh, it has started raining. My god, what is happening? What is on our head? It has started raining, and I'm placing the same shadow, this shadow, onto this side, okay, over here, and I'm going to stop it while I'm coming onto this area, because if I apply the highlighter over here onto this side, it is going to drag my eyes, like the whole shape is going to fall down. We don't want that, and that's why I'm going to place the highlighter from here till here like this. Look at the difference. And just blend it out properly. Okay. Okay, I'm using Lakme eyeliner, and I'm going to place a very small wing on the outer corners so that it drags our eyes a little up and creates a shape of an almond like this, just a tiny bit. And tight lining from above. Okay, and creating a wing at the outer corner like this, right? Moving on to the mascara, I'm using the same Maybelline Hyper Real mascara because I haven't still finished this mascara, and we're going to apply it directly at the roots of the lashes and curl it simultaneously. If you think you have got some eyeshadow fall onto the mascara, just place your mascara onto the lashes like this and lift it up like this. Okay, look at the difference. Now onto the lower lashes as well. Moving on to the blush and the highlighter, I'm going to apply this palette. It's again Charlotte Tilbury palette, and I think I'm going to use this shade and this shade. I'm mixing it up like this, and just not coming. I have to press it like this and like this. Now again, I'm going to place it onto my cheeks. I use the red shade so that we can get some warmth onto our face. Onto this side as well, I'm going to place it like this and onto our nose. Moving on to the highlighter, I'm going to use this shade in Illuminate highlighter, and I'm going to use my sponge like this. I'm dabbing it, and I'm going to place it onto my higher parts of the cheeks. Look at the glow. Is it not the best highlighter in the world? I mean, look at that. Oof, amazing, right? Onto our, look at that. Amazing, right? Now I'm going to place over here. This is the best highlighter in the world because it's not as sticky as Chanel highlighter, but it is blingy and it is so reflective. I mean, look at that, right? I'm placing it onto the sides of the temples like this. Even though we have applied the bronzer onto the sides of the temples, I want this area to be glowy. So when I'm looking like this, it should reflect the highlighter. Now I'm going to use this Lakme lip pencil, and I'm going to draw my lips bigger and plumpier. This is in the shade Mauve Passion, I guess. Yeah, 08 Mauve Passion. It's a beautiful shade. It's like my lips but better. And now I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown lipstick. I love this lips. I love this range of lipstick because it is so hydrating. It's a beautiful lipstick because it has got the pigment and it has got a lip stain kind of a, you know, situation. Once the lipstick is faded, you get a beautiful lip stain afterwards, you know. So that's a win-win kind of a situation. The makeup is done. I'm just placing my hair at the back, and I'm going to put my nose ring back onto the nose like this. Perfect. and I'm placing my chunni over here, and this is the makeup look that we have created. Very neutral, very chic. When you are wearing a bright color clothes like Desi clothes, you can wear this kind of a makeup and it's gonna look really nice. And that's it for today. Please like, share, subscribe and do all that jazz, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.